Let me show you one episode, the with the B-Wall woman.
Okay.
And you'll be hooked.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
It's so good. And
she
people
hot?
that have watched, she's blind.
Is she hot?
Sure. Yeah. You'll be into it for sure. Yeah. Welcome to Late Night Jutsu's podcast hour. It's a series we created for couples to discuss all things anime and manga related, both old and new. I'm your host, Tyler.
And I'm Kaylin.
For episode 1.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about our first meeting 8 years ago and how we got...
Our first date.
Yeah, our first date and how we introduced each other to our... I'd say our genres in anime, right?
No, I think that was something that we had in common. So it was just like, how can I hang out with this person? Here, how about I introduce an anime that you've never seen? You can show me an anime I've never seen, and that'll be our first like little hangout session.
Yes, and the first anime you showed me was definitely an eye-opener. I wasn't ready for it. No judgment. Because with people our age, and just as a broad range, we're in our 25s to 30s here. Mm-hmm. Back in the early 2000s, you kind of had to be a closet.
Oh, for
lead,
sure.
Right? You
100%.
couldn't just come out and say to somebody you just met, like, oh, I love Naruto, I love Inuyasha, I love all these animes. It wasn't quite...
They'd be like, what is that?
Yeah, it wasn't as mainstream. Like, it wasn't as mainstream to be open about it as it is now.
Yes.
And it was back then. Mm-hmm. So you kind of just had to keep it to yourself unless you had a good friend who already knew that you were a giant closet nerd, right?
Who was also a giant closet nerd. Yeah.
Because we both went to the same high school, and they had an anime club there, but I didn't go near it just because...
I had no idea.
Yeah. It was the over the top anime people, or manga guys that
just a lot of passion.
The Naruto running in the hallway people, and it's not helping our cause here, brother. We're trying to get the normies. You know what I'm saying. We're trying to get the normies to be okay with it. So you had to put on like this farce that you weren't a huge geek deep down.
I remember lying about anime. I was in 8th grade. I was dating a sophomore, and I was talking about a show, and he was like, "What is that? Like anime? Like Japanese cartoons?" And I was like, No, that's not what it is." Because he was like, "That's stupid. Like that's," and I was like, "Oh God." And now I feel gross thinking about it. Like, don't do that. Just if you like anime, you like anime. It doesn't matter.
Be yourself.
Exactly.
Because there was no difference back then from people who watched, just say, Gundam or Inuyasha than other people that watch Ben 10 or Pokemon. It's the same thing with just better storytelling and better characters.
And better animation.
Right.
I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that. That's all right.
Well, yeah, for sure it was. But yeah, so when we first met 8 years ago, what was the first anime you introduced to me to show me, this is Kaylin, this is what I enjoy?
Why do I have to go first? All right, it's fine. I showed you Valkyrie Drive Mermaid. For those of you watching that have seen that show, it is very raunchy. First of all, let me just say, I didn't realize when I first started watching it that it had anything to do with what it is. I simply got hooked on the word mermaid, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. This is like right up my alley. I'm going to fucking see mermaids. It's going to be amazing. No, that is not what it was. But then I was like, I also like this though. But I just thought I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'm just going to show him this anime. It's kind of wild. It's kind of out there. So if he still wants to hang out with me, then I'm in the clear. I'm good. Yeah.
And at this time, I had been watching anime and reading manga for a while. So I wasn't really shocked. I was already deep in I would say the culture, right? But if I had just started getting into it and you showed me that, I'd probably been like, okay, red flag.
All right.
But, once you get into the hobby more, you're your judgmental scale, I would call it that, goes way down because you understand.
Yes.
Because everyone has some either
Niche.
show or manga they watch where it's
yes.
like, it's on the edge of like, I would show people this, but it's only a select few, right?
Right.
So everyone has that. And I wanted you to go first because mine was Hunter x Hunter. So that's.
Do you say Hunter x Hunter? I say Hunter x Hunter.
I say both.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was like a right way to say it.
Because when people first see it, they want to say the X anyway. I did. But when I talk to people online or in Discord, they just say Hunter x Hunter.
I get it.
So, I mean, it's really up to you. If you enjoy it, say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But normally I hear people say Hunter x Hunter. But yeah, that's super mainstream and popular. So it's not as fun as Valkyrie Drive Mermaid. Was it the mermaid part? Was it because you loved The Little Mermaid so much growing up where you're like, this is what I'm going to watch?
Yeah.
Just because it said mermaid?
Exactly. Yeah. I just had like this, I wouldn't call it obsession, but I was just like really into mermaids. And obviously that stems from The Little Mermaid. But I was hoping to see like some Japanese animated mermaids. I was like, this is going to be great. Like, can't wait. And I did not get that. Not at all.
It couldn't be further from the sea.
That's not true. There's definitely they're on an island in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
Okay, well, I just meant sea theme. There's no,
it's fine.
there's flounder in there, but it's a different kind. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. That show gets you excited, but I'm gonna need you to.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely go check out Valkyrie Drive Mermaid. It is on Crunchyroll, surprisingly. I thought Crunchyroll cut out.
See, okay, I found that when I was like 20, and I do not remember it being that
over the top,
like uncensored.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing any of that. And so I've recently started watching it again, and I was like, I don't remember it being this raunchy. Like, this is. But hey.
That's how Netflix used to be, though. When Netflix first started, you could watch the more gory, kind of raw anime that was on there that was not well known. And it showed a lot of gore and just violence. And as Netflix got bigger and more mainstream, where they stopped shipping DVDs to people, that's when it kind of, I don't know, it got censored more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not as much, I would say, R-rated stuff on Netflix. There is R-rated shows, but it's not as over the top as it used to be. So I was surprised to see it on Crunchyroll, of all things, because I thought it was kind of Crunchyroll took that same path, but they're like, nope, here.
I know, if anything, they did the opposite. I don't think I would recommend that to anybody under the age of...
Oh, I guess legally 18.
18, yeah. Like I said, I didn't find it till I was 20, so...
So this was 8 years ago, but we showed each other our favorites. Yours was Valkyrie Drive. Mine was Hunter x Hunter. And obviously, with like most couples in a household that love and enjoy anime, they are obviously separated usually by genres. Whether that be romance, comedy, action, shonen, whatever you want to call it. So what we did, we tried to show each other an anime that we liked to try to get the other person kind of into our genre more. My genre's honestly, or obviously shonen, if you can't see by the multiple figures around the room. So I showed you Toriko first, because it was kind of a mix of Dragon Ball Z and Food Wars almost. Not really Food Wars, but...
Just food related.
Just food, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a foodie. Like, I love food. So I kind of understand why you thought that would be a good anime to show me.
But it was just lacking one of your biggest.
There's no romance.
No romance.
Ugh.
That's not true.
That's not true. That isn't true. Sort of.
He has romance with the respect for the food. It's very deep. It's very deep.
I do have a favorite character from that show, though.
Who?
Oh God, what is his name with the rainbow hair?
Oh, Sunny.
Sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gorgeous.
He's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His whole full course menu is just
wait. And the blue-haired person, the ninja person, or no, I'm not getting that right.
the ninja person.
Maybe he's not blue-haired.
The blue hair is Toriko. Main guy.
Yeah, no. The black-haired one.
Oh, Coco.
Coco. I like Coco
Poison
too.
guy.
I like Coco too.
But Sunny's full course menu is all just it's skin related,
It's
health
stuff
related.
that helps with his beauty.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And that's one of the characters I wanted you to get into to see in the series. I'm like, maybe he'll draw Caitlin
He'll pull me in.
This. Yeah.
He did, but not enough for me to watch the show.
No. Because it's 80% fighting and then 20% food.
Yeah, it's like fighting to eat food.
Yeah, basically. Mm-hmm. And then what was the one you showed me?
I showed you Violet Evergarden,
which was really good. Because I can tone down I can get into non-shonen related genres every now and then. Mm-hmm. And Violet Evergarden is really good. I thought within the first 10 seconds, I was like, oh, crap. Because, she's she's a storyteller who, it's in an age where people don't know how to write. Or is it read? It was something along those lines where she's writing these stories of these people and
Yes. Like she has okay. Do you want to start from the beginning?
Yeah, I probably just butchered that.
You did,
hell,
but that's okay.
It's all right.
That's okay. So it really starts when she's young, she's little, and she was like trained to be an assassin, and she's really badass, but she's like little. And so this, I guess he's like a general or something. He basically like becomes her guardian or takes possession of her, however you want to look at it. And so they get caught up in a war, and she's a little bit older now, and she ends up like, I was like, spoilers if you haven't seen it. They're in the middle of battle, and their bomb goes off, and she's trying to like save her general, save herself, and then she ends up losing like fucking both of her arms, essentially. And it's like she's like trying to drag him like just with her mouth.
Is that a spoiler though? Because that's within the first like 5 minutes of the first episode, right?
Yeah,
that's setting up the whole story. But if
nobody's seen it, then yes.
I mean, that's setting up the whole story though in the first episode.
That's true. But anyways, so then now it's about her, like, so she's recovering. She's got these like bionic arms now, and so she's getting adjusted to that. And so somebody that was also in the military with them, who knew the general, basically tells her to like come and work for this company, and they're called dolls, where they learn how to type. And so she joins this like school to learn how to type, and then she like basically starts working for this company, right? And so they go around to people will either come to them if they want to like send a letter to somebody, but they don't know how to write it. Like they don't either know how to word it, or they just don't know how to do it in general. And so, she just does that, and she ends up like, it basically helps her with her emotions, because she basically has zero emotions. Like she wasn't raised like a human being. She was raised like a weapon.
I was sort of in the ballpark. I was in the front door about to buy my ticket. I was close to the premise of the show. Anyway, this show,
like you walked into the wrong theater.
You showed it to me, and at first I was like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
But then as we kept watching it, as we got to episode 2 and 3, granted this was 8, 6, 7 years ago, whenever this was. I know I do that a lot. I talk my hands.
I do too, so but I haven't touched this thing.
Passionate about anime.
I haven't touched this thing once.
I'll put them down here.
Thank you.
But as we got more episodes in, I was like, oh, this is actually really good. I don't even care if there's no action or.
Okay, there was a little action in the beginning.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying.
I know,
it's not Naruto or JJK levels.
Yeah.
And no, that did kind of pull me into your genre more. And we started watching more of the what was that? Kitchen to Another, what was it called?
Restaurant to Another World.
Yes, and that was so good.
Kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh dear, it's fine. Yeah, Restaurant to Another World. It's great. I just, like I said, I love food. And that was another one because you liked Toriko. And I was just like, here, let me show you a food anime that's like completely different. It has nothing to do with action. But I just liked that each episode was different. Like it was different people, different food, different menu. Like, well, not different menu, but like people ordered different things off the menu. So I like that. I like that everything was different. Like it didn't really follow a storyline except for like, I think there's like 1 or 2 episodes that like fell in line with each other. But yeah, that was more my style. And did you like that one?
Yeah, I loved it because they had the different races of people that would come in depending on which
I like that too.
realm or planet, whatever you want to say. That
it was
they
like
were,
different dimensions. It
yeah,
was really
whatever
cool.
dimension they were located in that episode. For all the different races coming through the door, they had different types of food that they could
liked.
prepared for them. Yeah, on every single episode. I just thought it was so great.
Yeah,
because then after that, we both started watching Food Wars, which we both
really liked.
Came together on that one.
Yeah,
which is rare
because it's basically like it is dueling, but through food.
Yeah, and
instead of fighting for your food, you're dueling with food.
And they really like food in that show,
oh my
especially
gosh.
when it tastes good.
And it is. All right, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, no, it's like it kind of feels like an action anime because there's so much passion whenever they're preparing the foods. Like they're literally in battle, like in the kitchen. It's so cool. But yeah, no, so good. I love like the animation and the voice actors in that. It's really good. The music, love. The ending theme song, chef's kiss.
Oh yeah,
so
really good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if other couples can relate to this, but we have very few animes or mangas that we actually agree on and both enjoy at the same time. Mm-hmm. Food Wars is one of them. Restaurant to Another Dimension, Another World. I'll get that right one day. And Inuyasha. I'm trying to think of some other ones to where like we generally both enjoy and can watch every episode. Maybe kind of Demon Slayer, but I think Demon Slayer
100%.
Which was surprising to me because
why?
I figured you wouldn't like it. I mean, just because of the over the top action scenes and the gore and the violence. I didn't think you would like it, but you're the one that showed it to me.
Yeah.
You read it before I did.
Yeah.
The whole thing. We have, I don't think you can see it in the clip, but we have the entire set up there.
Oh yeah.
And I think you read it in like a week.
I read it in like 3 days.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It sat in our apartment for months, and then you were like, you need to read it.
You need to read it.
Yeah. And then so I finally did, and then, we watched since every season's came out, we've sat down and watched every episode together.
And movie. Yeah, we actually saw that movie in theaters.
Yeah. At the Angelica.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. In Dallas.
Yeah, the Angelica Theater in Dallas.
That was rough though, because we got really shitty seats. Like we were like right up front, and we were watching it subbed. So it's like you're having to read the subtitles and like also watch the movie, but you're like focusing on the subtitles, so you're kind of missing the movie, and it was rough.
If you have bad eyesight like I do, you're basically relying on your partner. You're like, what does it say on that end down there? Because I can't see too good.
And if you're like me, you don't say anything.
Yeah, no help.
Fend for yourself.
But we got bad seats because the theater was packed.
It was packed,
which was an eye opener for me because I was like, okay, we're mainstream.
It's becoming the norm.
Yeah,
it's becoming cool.
And it had a wide variety of groups there.
It did. You had
the normal people, the over the top people, and then the cosplayers.
Yeah.
And I say over the top people that aren't cosplayers.
They live and breathe it.
Yeah, but you know they're there.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. And then you just had regular ass people just there
like
chilling.
Us.
Yeah.
No, it's honestly like that was so exciting for me to like see the theater full of different types of people, because as a young 14-year-old, I'm like having to hide that part of myself, because I really liked anime. Like that's the only thing that I was watching like all throughout high school. And so it was such a cool experience to see that and to see what anime is becoming here in the United States. Like, so pumped. So pumped.
Yeah, and it might be different for different states out there in the U.S. or different parts of the world, wherever you might be watching from right now. But we grew up in Dallas, Texas, and back then it was, like we were saying earlier, it was not normal to be just open about your anime or manga lives. You had to keep it sealed away and throw away that key and never speak
like
about it.
People thought you were weird. They're like, oh my God, you're weird. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
It's just like uncultured. Like, people just get so weirded out whenever you like something that isn't like a part of your culture, right? And it's just like, dude, it's the same fucking thing. It's a cartoon. It's just in a different language.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And the older you got, the harder it became to like just say it to somebody. I know that might sound like ridiculous right nowadays.
Yeah.
But back then, seriously, in the early 2000s, it was, you didn't say that out loud. You just, unless you accidentally met somebody else where you saw their, just, I don't know, just say you saw their Sasuke sticker on their binder and you're like,
it's like, I can talk to you about this stuff. Yeah.
And then so you kind of, it's almost like a first date with that person.
Yeah.
You're like, so the Sasuke sticker, you try to feel
them out. Like,
you just watch it just because it's on like TV.
Yeah. Like how deep are you in?
Or are you like full blown?
Yeah. Because he's full blown, guys.
Yeah.
He's full blown.
Full blown it since I could remember.
Yeah.
Speaking of, what was the first anime you watched or manga you read? But what's the first anime you watched to where you're like, okay, this is anime. This is different than a regular cartoon.
I know it.
This is not Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh.
I know it well.
What show was it? And if you can remember the year or your age.
I remember everything. I was in sixth grade. And unfortunately, I slept with the TV on, guys. Sorry. And I happened to wake up. Don't do that, by the way, because it messes with your sleep schedule. But anyways, not important. So I woke up at like 3:30 in the morning, and, I'm like, all right. And then my TV was on. So I was like, what's on TV? Inuyasha was on. And
The late night goat.
And I was hooked. Like, I don't know. I cannot remember the first episode that I watched. I just remember like loving it and then finishing that episode. And then the ending theme came on and my world just changed. Like, I immediately illegally downloaded like
whole season.
All of the ending theme songs. Opening songs, I'm like, but the endings, amazing.
What's the flower called in
the spider lily?
Spider lily.
Yes.
Okay.
It's so good.
Seeing that one time permanently implanted something in my brain. Anytime I see one out in the wild, I'm like, that's Inuyasha. Even if it's, not.
No, yeah, I promise you it's not a spider lily.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. It's like something similar, right? No, it was so good. I don't know what it was, but and the version that I was watching was obviously dubbed. And I don't normally like dubbed anime because we just do a really shit job of finding voice actors. Like, Japan is just different. It just hits different. Like, they know what they're doing.
Nanami.
They know what they're doing. Anyways, so that is one of the animes that I do like dubbed. Because the subbed version, like, Inuyasha's voice is a little too high for me, and I'm like, oof, okay. But yeah, no, so I don't know what it was. I think because I'm just naturally drawn to like period pieces, that I think that is why I really liked it. Also because of the romance.
Yeah. And I agree. The romance, whatever.
I'm like, what? Go ahead, say it.
The romance was fine, whatever, because I never saw that as the main focal point of Inuyasha. This is coming from a 8-year-old or whatever, however old I was when I first watched it. I just remember the first scene I watched, I saw from Inuyasha was of Kilala transforming.
Oh, so
It was like, I'm pretty sure it was the first episode.
Where's my Kilala stuffed
It
animal?
is in the closet somewhere, not out here. I'll have to dig it out.
Yeah, that's ugly.
But no, it's the first episode where she transforms and immediately hooked.
Yeah.
Because I think the same way. The first time I saw Inuyasha, that scene had just played, and I was like, okay, well, that was badass. I'm gonna finish whatever the rest of this is. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was just it's just because it is a period piece, and they just got it so right.
They did.
The whole vibe of the universe that they built there is just Plus, it has the dopest name for a well that I've ever heard of.
The Bone Eater's Well.
Yeah, I had to ask her this the other day because I was trying to think of a channel name for this or something to call this series, and I was trying to think of Inuyasha because it's something we both like, and I was like, hey, what was the well in Inuyasha have a name that Kagome travels down to go back in time? And she was like, it's the Bone Eater's Well. The dopest freaking name you could have for a well I've ever heard of, and it's in Inuyasha. And plus his towards the end, his big galaxy sword that Tetsaiga transforms into.
Oh, okay. I was like,
the dopest name for a weapon that you could have. It's the Dark Path of the Dance Move Wave Transformation. That's what it is in English. The Japanese translation is way cooler. I don't know it though. But that's the dopest name for a sword I could ever think of. And it's in Inuyasha. It's something that came out 20 plus years ago. Amazing.
Yeah. But to add on to what you were saying earlier, when I realized that this wasn't like a regular like cartoon, like, whatever, is because that there was a lot of trauma. There was a lot going on in there. Like, it was intense. Yeah.
And I think that's what first separates it in your mind when you're watching it, maybe, because going in from,
I was like, oh, this is serious.
Yeah. Going in from something like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh!
More lighthearted.
Yeah, Ben 10, like I said earlier, where they have issues that they address in the show, but it's more kid-related issues.
Right.
So when you see Inuyasha...
It's more approachable.
Yeah, when you see Inuyasha, you're like, damn, they have a lot of...
That's some therapy shit right there.
Trauma that is not being dealt with. And it doesn't get... It eventually gets addressed, but like the tension between Kagome and Inuyasha kind of gets sorted out. I would say
the tension between Inuyasha and Kikyo kind of gets sorted out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there was a lot of like lies, betrayal, hurt just between the two of them. It's rough.
Because you had you had Kikyo and Inuyasha, which episode 1 starts off the rip like, my ex just shot me with an arrow like through the
like that.
Pinned
That
me
was
to
my
a tree.
arrow noise.
Which they already had a whole backstory that intrigues you to get into the show that gets unraveled slowly. And then there's this tension between Kagome and Inuyasha as the show goes on to where it's not really getting addressed. And it just, when a moment comes up for one of them, something happens.
I know.
Something comes out of the sky and they start getting attacked or whatever.
Yeah.
Or was it Songo's village that... Does it get destroyed or a bunch of her villagers get slaughtered or something? And she goes and avenges
so
them.
all of the villagers essentially get slaughtered except her and her brother. And Lord above, I cannot remember her brother's name, but he was her younger brother. And Naraku, who is like the main villain of the series, he like possessed him and basically like got him to kill all of the villagers, like their family, their friends.
Pulled it in Itachi.
Basically. No, because he wasn't possessed. He knew what he was doing.
I know.
That's
I'm
different.
just saying.
That's different. Get your facts straight.
But how old is he? Was he 10 or 12?
The brother?
Yeah.
He was little. He's probably like 12.
Yeah. That is some deep trauma. And you're just not ready for it if you're younger.
He fucked him up. That was crazy. And then Songo's like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? That's my brother. Like, I can't kill you. Like, I can't stop you. And I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure he fucks her up too, but like obviously not enough to kill her. And so basically she spends her life trying to save him, essentially. And then she finds Inuyasha and Kagome.
A lot, like you said, a lot. And then you got to deal with, what's the monk's name?
Moroku.
Yeah, and then you got to deal with his perviness the whole time. To which, if you're coming from Pokemon or something, you're not ready for it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Especially on the ass grab moments where it cuts to the screen of just full hand on Sango's ass.
Oh, I love it.
And you're just
and she lets him have it. She's like,
yeah,
every time. But low key, she loves it. Don't play. She loves it.
Well, what was the sequel to Inuyasha? Well, do you remember what it was called? Was it their children's name? Is that the actual name?
Oh, no. Those are not Inuyasha's kids. I think those are Sesshomaru's kids.
I thought one was Inuyasha and one was...
No, I think they're both Sesshomaru's kids.
Okay. You
I don't
would know better
it's
than
been
I would.
No, because it's been a minute since I've seen that.
She's wearing the fire rat's robe.
See, I don't know. I can't remember. Well, to be honest, I wasn't really like into that anime. Like, I think I watched the first like 2 or 3 episodes, and I was like,
kind of bored of it.
Yeah.
It just didn't have the same vibe as the OG.
No, it's like
it's too polished.
Exactly.
I
hate to be like that, but sometimes I really just get attached to like the OG animes when they try to remake something. It's the same thing with movies. When they try to remake something or they try to like do a sequel or what have you, it's like you get excited about it, but then it's like completely different, and like the animation is different, and like the storyline is completely different, and that makes sense. Like, it's meant to be that way, but you keep comparing it to the original one, so it's like I just could not get into it because I was just like, I don't know what it was. So I was just like, I'm done.
I think because I have the same issue with Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
Just like Inuyasha and Dragon Ball Z, the originals had, I don't know, this roughness, more realistic illustration art style to them. So when you see the more polished, newer stuff now, it kind of, I guess people our age, it kind of just throws you off a little bit. You're like, this looks too good.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
It's with the like Boruto now and the OG Naruto.
Yeah.
You're just like, I kind of miss the like watercolored style.
Yeah.
That's what I was used to for so many years. And now it's, it's all digitally like perfect almost, all the colors.
Well, we did give Boruto like a good chance. Like, I know you watched a lot more of it than I did. But it's like, because it's like that one was one. Sorry, do you need to?
You're good.
Okay. That one was one that I was genuinely excited for the story because like you get so attached. Like, you spend like over 600 episodes with these people, right? Getting to know them, getting to know their life, and like being excited for their future, right? And so once they released Boruto, which is about their kids, and they're in it also as parents, I was like, oh my God, I love this. I love this concept. I can't wait to see what they are as like parents. And then I can't wait to see like who their kids are. And, it's just, that part was exciting, but no, I feel you like, yeah, it's like you kind of miss, like, it's like almost nostalgic, like that, like sometimes if it's not broke, don't fix it. Right. But I get it that everybody, like, it's a business, like you're trying to keep up with the times. But it's like sometimes I'm like, it was good the way that it was. Yeah. And people still like it the way that it was. So it's like, I wish that one person or like one company would release like a sequel or something, but stay true to the original art and see what that does. Hard but just see what it does. Yeah. See how it does.
I just think it's hard because the software and the tools that they use to develop all these animations now have evolved so much, and they make it easier for
they can't.
And it makes it easier
too good
for the illustrators to actually pump out these shows at a rate.
Be quicker. Yeah.
And to where all the old styles don't really get used. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I dabble in like video editing and Photoshop, but like actually edit
like animation and things like that.
I don't know shit. Yeah, no, it's
nothing.
But I think that's kind of what it is. It's just that the software's evolved so much. They're like, oh, I can just done. Move on.
I
to
think
the
it's
next.
more of just like trying to keep up with the times, to be honest. Like they feel like the older style is not as like it's old. Like that's what they think that it is.
Yeah,
They're like, no, we're in 2024. Like it's got to be crisp. It's got to be clean. It's got to be modern. And it's like, no, it doesn't.
And to go off what you're saying, I think they're trying to appeal to the younger generation too. It's not trying to appeal to the kids that grew up after 2010, or whatever, 2005.
Right.
They're used to the polished animations.
And there are pros and cons to anime becoming mainstream, right? So it's like we're losing that like casual, almost like approachable feeling to anime that we know and love. And then we're getting that more crisp, polished, modern style of anime because it appeals to the younger generations, right? So it's, interesting.
Because with brand new stories that I watch, like Demon Slayer, it looks so damn good. It's, it's movie quality.
Yeah.
Every episode is just so crisp. But for that story and that illustration, it works.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't think Demon Slayer is, for me, it didn't feel too crisp. Like it didn't feel so modern. Like I think they did a good job with it.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
they threw
did a
in
good
some
job.
of that weird 3D animated
that part I didn't like.
rendering.
I do
that was
not,
weird. It's like claymation
do not
almost.
like that at all. Like please, it's 2D. Keep it 2D. That part I erase that from my mind.
Yeah, especially
Everything
in the
else,
Swordsmith Village
yes,
arc with the fishes. Ooh, some of those are rough.
But everything else, beautiful. I'm like, this is great. I love this. Perfect. I don't mind this. I enjoy it. I can watch this.
Yeah.
But the renderings, ugh. I'm like, just don't, please.
Yeah, I don't know who saw that and you're like, this is
Yeah, and that's
good.
what I'm saying. Like they feel like they're trying to like, we got to be different. We got to be fresh. We got to be new. So let's throw in this fucking 3D rendering.
But like I said, it's probably faster and cheaper and easier. And
it definitely looks cheap,
money wise. Yeah, but it's
Clearly, I'm a hater, and that's fine. Some of you might have enjoyed those scenes because it's like, ooh, this is cool. But
I'm sure there's people that watching like don't agree with anything we're saying, but it's fine. So your first like anime you saw Inuyasha.
Yes.
Mine,
what about you?
Which this is really going to show my age. So I grew up watching majority Dragon Ball and then into Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! But I didn't see Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z as a anime. I just saw it as another cartoon show.
Yeah.
Same with Zatch Bell and a bunch of these other ones. It was like, this is, and Bleach was one of them too. I was like, this is just a cartoon.
What?
Yeah, I didn't see that as...
You didn't see Bleach? Sorry, continue.
As an anime, no. I just saw it as as a kid, it was just another cartoon on.
That is great.
And I enjoyed it and it was good. And I like the fights and stuff like that. It just, I don't know, it didn't register as a kid. Because you could say, like, what about all the anime here? Like, I grew up watching Dragon Ball. Like, they had the most
the ultimate anime.
Yeah, it didn't register. It wasn't until my cousin, because I was living in Mount Pleasant, Texas at the time. Yeah, I'm sure y'all have heard the accent come through a few times. He came to me one day during the summer, and he was like, hey, I recorded a episode of this show called Fooly Cooly on VHS last night while we were asleep, and we need to watch it today because it's insane, and it's gonna blow your freaking mind. Basically, that's what he said. And so we popped that VHS in the TV, started watching it, and within the first 10 seconds, I was like, okay, this is anime. Just because.
How old were you?
I don't know. I want to say 8.
Yeah. Whittle.
9. I don't know. I was young. But I knew what anime and manga was, sort of. Like I would go to Half Price Books or something, and they would have a little section there, and I'd look at it, and I'd be like, oh, okay. I'd try to read it like a normal American book, and it didn't make any sense, or just wouldn't pay any attention.
They go, the other way.
But then watching Fooly Cooley, I'm like, okay, I'm in it. I'm in the club. I got it. I want to dive deep into this. So after that, me and my cousin, we just started researching. Well, I say researching. We didn't have internet back then. We did, but it was, if somebody was using it or on the phone, we couldn't use it.
I know.
Which that's what I said. It's going to show my age here. But we just started doing a deep dive, and that's how we found later on, like shows we watched. We were like, oh, Gundam is anime. Bleach is anime.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z is anime.
It's all clicking.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Naruto's anime.
Yeah.
And then so we got super excited, and then, we'd start bootlegging all the episodes on VHS. And then by the end of the summer, we just had piles of these VHS tapes with our favorite episodes and like movies. And if they came on Toonami or Adult Swim, we would just bootleg it on VHS and then rewatch them.
Hell yeah.
For years. And then, yeah, ever since then, it's just been downhill on the anime train.
Don't say downhill. It's uphill.
It's uphill.
We're proud.
Financially downhill. Yeah.
Clearly. But no, that's cool. I have never heard or seen Fully Cooley.
I couldn't even describe to you what it's about right now. We'd have to just go watch it.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll have to watch that because I am curious to see what got you into anime.
Yeah, and as soon as you see it,
the name is interesting though. Fully Cooley. I love that.
You'll understand because, like I said, the show did have a deep meaning. I couldn't tell you what it is now because I don't remember, but.
Yeah.
With the main character who doesn't say a word the whole time, it has like a really deep meaning. But just with the characters that do talk and that you do see, one was like a high school kid, I think, and then some older girl. But there was it addressed some issues that you're not ready for as a kid, because he'd be in the bathhouse bathing himself, and she would just bust in on him and just start beating his ass. And weird,
Whoa.
He's naked and stuff or whatever. And, but that's what I'm saying. It's you're not ready for it.
Yeah. I was not getting that vibe at all from the title.
Yeah.
I was thinking more pop art, everything's colorful.
It is. No, it is.
Oh,
it is.
Okay.
It's just I'm saying the part that shocks you if you're a kid watching it is that, because you're that's unspoken. You don't do that, especially in Mount Pleasant, Texas.
Yeah.
Right? You would never talk about that out loud.
Yeah.
And so that's what got us so intrigued into it, because it almost we're not supposed to be watching this. It's not good for us, right? And then so
it's new.
Yeah, and it's you're just learning about all these new things, so we're we gotta go do a deep dive or whatever.
That's essentially what happened to me with Inuyasha. That's when we had what was it, DVR or whatever, and I was recording all the episodes just in case I didn't wake up.
What's DVR? Only know VHS, man.
I don't know.
Tape. No,
okay.
DVR on the box.
Thank you. But no, so I was recording it just in case I didn't wake up to watch it. And my dad was like, what is this? Because he could see the recordings, right? He was like, what are you watching at 3:30 in the morning? And I'm like, I'm not watching anything because I'm recording it because I'm asleep. And he was like, you better be asleep. And I was just like, because, obviously I was in middle school. I was 12. So he was like, you better be asleep. That's late, which it is. And then at one point, I think he actually watched an episode of Inuyasha, and I can't remember which one it was, but he was like, you can't watch this. This is an adult show. No. And I was distraught.
Your dad's a good dad, though.
Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, eventually I just said, fuck it. I'm just not going to record it, and I'm just going to make sure I wake up to watch it. And that's what I did. No, I remember. No, I was doing that, but then you could put up a parental lock on your TV. And so he made it to where I couldn't watch it because I didn't know the code. Oh, I was so pissed. I was like, you're ruining my life. But eventually he was like, I think I got into 8th grade. And he was like, okay, here, it's fine.
I feel like he would have been cool with it just
Oh,
because
yeah.
he understands your Disney addiction.
Yes.
And
Yeah. But I think I just had to convince him. I'm like that. It's like they don't cuss or like whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
yeah, just don't watch the brutal murder scenes, and it's cool.
I mean, they're not that brutal to me, at least, because like I just don't ever remember like there being like when they're.
We might have to go back.
Yeah, no,
watch some episodes. I think you're misremembering some things here.
I understand they're like chopping the heads off and like slitting the throats and stuff. However, I don't remember there being like blood. The demons, like there was no blood.
It's purple.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
it's
like
not really
Inuyasha
gory
got
to me.
bloody for sure.
Did he?
Yeah, his whole attack with him scratching himself and doing his.
But see, it was illuminated.
What was it called? Iron Claw Soul Reaver? Is that what it's called? Am I way the fuck off here?
I mean, you're close.
Okay.
You're close. But it was illuminated, Like whenever he actually performed the attack, whenever it left his hands, it was like, it was glowing. So it's like, I don't register that as blood.
We might have to go do it.
We'll rewatch it. We'll rewatch it.
'Cause
Where's my phone? Let me fact check you right now. Because
go for it.
I am.
But yeah, with Foolie Cooley, it's literally been 20 plus years since I've watched it, so I can't explain what it's about, but other people will know what I'm talking about. That's what started this whole thing. And
I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah, no.
Never seen it.
Because the main guy is like a robot guy with the TV head, or he's like half robot. Like, I don't even know. I can't explain it.
Okay. You're talking about Blades of Blood. And you're trying to say Iron Reaver Soul Stealer.
Okay. Hey,
that's not the attack.
That's a dope ass name.
That is, but that's not the attack you're talking about. You're talking about Blades of Blood. Anyways. So yeah, it's like
like I said, we're going to have to go back and watch it, but I remember it being pretty violent anyway.
Well, as a 12-year-old, I didn't think so.
I'm sure. But I like, it's whatever. Like, it just depends on also, I think, which version you watched. It has blood in it and not blood in it, because if you watched certain Dragon Ball Z movies back in the day, some of them had blood because they were made by a different studio.
That is true.
So,
I was watching it through, I think it was Adult Swim. I'm almost positive it was Adult Swim.
Yeah, I don't see that playing on Toonami.
No, it was Adult Swim. So,
because Adult Swim also, which is another one that gets a lot of people into anime, was Samurai Champloo. I think that was Adult Swim, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So
I never watched it. I mean, I knew of it. I just didn't.
One of the greatest.
It didn't capture my interest.
Soundtracks.
I don't disagree with you.
Can we, after we finish this, let me show you one episode, with the Biwa woman.
Okay.
And you'll be hooked.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
It's so good. And
Is she
people
hot?
that have watched, she's blind.
Is she hot?
Sure. Yeah. You'll be into it for sure. Yeah.
I'm confused by that reaction.
I don't know. I never gauged her hotness as it had her any kind of validity with the show. I gauged her off her ability to play music because she's blind. And it's amazing.
Was she born blind?
I think so. I don't remember. It's very sad. If I remember the episode correctly, no, I'm not going to tell you because I want you to watch it. But other people that have seen the episode I'm talking about know what I'm saying. It's such a good episode.
We can watch it. That's fine.
Because the soundtrack for Samurai Champloo is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
People rave about the soundtrack for Guardians of the Galaxy. Anime-wise,
best soundtrack.
Samurai Champloo is like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It hits on every single note.
I've even heard of their soundtrack. So,
which one?
The Samurai Champloo.
Yeah, because it's so good. But yeah, going from there, Samurai Champloo, then you start digging into like Death Note or whatever. I think Death Note's a big one that gets people.
Yes, that was a very big one. My best friend from high school, like her and her mom, were big fans of Death Note. Like I would come over and like stay the night or whatever, and they would be watching it. And I'm like, what is this? Like I like anime, but I've never seen this. And then I would watch a few episodes with them, and I was just like, this shit is dark as fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is not for me, but I'm not hating. I'm not gonna yuck your yum, but not my thing. But you liked Death Note, right?
Oh yeah, I loved it from the first episode.
Yeah, see?
But I'm saying I think that's the transition most people go from is like
You either go left or you go right.
Yeah, you go with the starter ones like Naruto, DBZ, Inuyasha.
And then you venture off.
Yeah, you hit Samurai Champloo maybe. You know, maybe you're an old school Samurai Jack guy. And you're coming
Hell
in
yeah.
and then you hit Death Note. And then I think after Death Note, you're like, okay, I'm full bore in.
Oh yeah. Like your scope.
I'm going to hit the one
broadened.
off. Yeah. What's Noragami? Watching it, reading it. I'm in. You know, Devil is a part timer. I'm completely different from Death Note. I'm in it right there. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, I'm just laughing because it's making me think of like we went down very different paths, you and I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I found like reverse harems and just lots of romance.
And that's fine.
No,
that's
I know.
what I'm sure a lot of other people's paths were.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah,
saying, like,
absolutely.
Death Note was probably for majority of
Yeah.
Americans, at least,
It's like a good transition.
the jumping off point to where,
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I'm gonna go find my genre and I'm gonna
I'm gonna find my niche.
hit it hard. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just like we're niching to anime couples here.
Yeah.
For personally yourself, you're niching down your genre that'll define the next 40, 50 years of your life, which obviously you can see is hit hard here.
Yeah. See, we're just like, I love that you are the type of like anime fan that you are because you've got all this memorabilia, you've had the figurines, lights, things like that. I am a very different kind of anime fan. Like I'm passionate, love it. It's like, that's all that I watch. I read manga. Like that's all that I read. But I don't have any like figures or like, I don't really wear like any clothing items or, you know, things like that. Like I don't have anything that shows that I am a fan.
Yeah.
You know, like if you were to meet me, you wouldn't know that. You'd be
No.
like, oh, you're just like an everyday, like whatever, you're just a basic bitch. But I am a diehard, like, oh my God. I just like, that's why I pay attention to people because I'll notice like they'll have like a tattoo or they'll have like some kind of little something. And I'm like, oh my God, like I love that. Like one of my friends, like she's got this really cool Death Note tattoo. And I was like, oh my God, I love blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, you watch anime? And I was like, I do. I do watch anime.
Yeah, because you wouldn't know because you are a tatted up individual and none of your tattoos have any relevance to anime or manga.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't know. But there's people out there like you exist all over the place and you just
hot girls like anime.
Yeah, which was probably almost the name of this series, but I can't remember. I think that was one of them you pitched or
What? No.
what was it?
My wife likes anime.
Okay, I wasn't even off. I wasn't even in the same ballpark.
No.
Whatever.
You're really like striking out here, my guy.
Listen, hey, I have been working. So this channel, Late Night Jutsu, this is my original just anime manga channel that I'm gonna put regular anime manga content on. It's just not here yet. It's getting ready. There's one for Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah,
He's working real hard, guys.
Yeah, I just had to upgrade the reading level on it from grade 3 to like grade 4. So it sounds a lot better now, but we're working on it. So there is going to be regular content like that coming on this channel, and then plus this podcast series that we're doing. So you can look out for that. On episode 2, I think we're going to be talking about season 1 of animes that fell off hard.
Where the first season was so good, and then the second season was wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, and I think one we both mutually agree on was Seven Deadly Sins.
That one hurts. Yeah, that one hurts.
So look out for that one, same time next week.
This was fun. I hope everybody that's watching enjoyed it and also recognized some of the animes that we talked about. If you have any animes that you would recommend, please leave them in the comments because we always like finding new animes. I can't promise you that I'll watch them, though, if they don't have any romance. So be careful with what you recommend.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's plenty of other couples out there like us who mutually agree and disagree hard on multiple genres of anime. So, yeah, we want to hear your opinions down in the comments. And, yeah, see you on the next one.
Bye, guys. Ready? You want me to do the director cut?
Sure. Make it loud.
Okay. 5, 4.
Thank you. Trust me, this intro is going to take a few tries. Welcome to Late Night Jutsu's podcast hour. It's a series we created. It's already. It's okay. We're going to just go again. Yeah.
There you go.
That was good.
No, it wasn't. I'm just giving you the script.
All right. Welcome to Late Night Jutsu's podcast hour. It's a series we created for couples to discuss all things related, anime and manga. Shit. Okay, I got it this time. I got it. This is